Ladies and gentlemen, joining me this Sunday is Capri and Dre, who will be talking about their single, Madam Butterfly, where opera meets hip hop.
Strange land, a young man, officer, and a gentleman. Never thought I would find love again in these times of dire straits.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to On the Sofa with Esther. Well, today with me, I have two phenomenal, because everybody's phenomenal who comes on my show, two phenomenal individuals. One is Capri and one is Dre. And they are here in the capacity of talking about a single they've got out called Madame Butterfly. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's an
Yes.
opera, and I know sometimes my British pronunciation might not be understood, but it's an opera, okay?
Perfect.
With a mix of hip hop, and it's a really powerful tune. And so we're going to talk about, how you came about to work with each other, and also what you're doing individually and collectively, and what's been the take up of the single as well, because it's a very powerful track, Madam Butterfly. So welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Yes.
And I love it. Before off camera, we were talking about how we're just making things work. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not going to indulge in that. So before we go any further, I like to ask my guests, Capri and Dre, who is Capri in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, or a crab shell? Who is Capri?
Who is Capri? Oh, well, singer. My mom was an opera singer, and she started me young, and I started singing and started taking voice lessons with her. And some people at Warner Brothers saw me do some singing in Carmen, and then they hired me to start doing solos on TV and film. And I started singing with LA Opera a little bit, and then an opera company in New York, and had the idea to meet Dre.
Excellent. And there's a really nice connection between you. I bet you both have fun when you're together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Love him.
Thank you. And what about you, Dre? In a nutshell, in a peanut shell, maybe a crab shell for you, Dre. Who is Dre?
Producer, engineer, writer, entertainer, love people.
Oh.
I love to entertain. I like to put smiles on people's faces, and I love it when people understand the story in my music. So I'm a story. So I guess I'm a musical author.
Excellent. And I'm going to ask you to sort of evolve that a bit, Dre, in terms of a musical author. What is your specific genre, or are you an eclectic musician? And then what is the message?
All right, so I started out wanting to always have been a sound engineer. At the time, sound engineering to learn and study was very expensive. So being a young kid, wanting to study engineering, I decided to get a record deal. And then that way I could spend a lot of time in the studios learning how to use a studio. So that's how it began. I pursued it. I did end up getting a deal. I signed with Ruthless Records. I worked with Eazy-E pretty much up until his death. Once he did die, I was released from contract, and I just took a step back, revamped, got back into engineering, ended up working for Coolio as a DJ and an engineer. Worked with him till his demise. And and the music in my message is life. Life experience, that's why I think that's why I fell in love with the song Butterfly, because it was an opera telling a story of love and loss. And I'm like, that is one thing that hip hop is definitely missing in stories, because everything is and drinking, so let's try something different. And we had a mutual friend, Ochiki Augustine, who was another person that worked at Warner Brothers, and he introduced us. I started as an engineer working on some projects, and as we were working on Capri's projects, I just started, I don't know, we just started adding rap to it. I thought the stories that, because the operas they're arias, is what I'm learning. That's what I learned from Capri, the arias. They're stories. And so, let's make this story in a hip hop form, and it's in Italian. Some of the songs, most of the songs are in Italian, right, Capri?
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a great transition and translation. We translating Italian to hip hop. So that's what we were doing, and from there we came up with "Song of the Butterfly," and we just kept going. And so I'm just having a ball doing it, and the message again is just life. That is what we want from music. That's what we're trying to give back to music, is life.
And that's brilliant, because there's a few things you said in that, giving back to you're giving back music is life. And also you mentioned about hip hop and the message. It's a bit like R&B. They're talking about how to keep R&B alive, the real authentic essence of R&B, which is about love and compassion, but more so is about unity, community, and fun, but love. And so I think in a lot of the genres at this moment in time, the elders or the old schoolers are trying to hold on to the real essence of what things should be, because then it impacts those who are listening. It impacts and influences the audience, because there's a vibration also of that music that's going out.
Yes.
And people are missing. There's a vibration in the words that you are projecting out there into people's lives. And so what you're doing as a messenger, both of you, you're giving back in that way. Love and life, love and life. So that's brilliant. Brilliant.
And the butterfly, Song of the Butterfly, it's a love story, but it does end in tragedy. But again, it's life.
Mm-hmm.
It is
expansion.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's life. So I can't say too much about that. It's just life. It does happen. Once people start to listen to the record, you'll hear the story. And if people want to know more, translate the Italian. That would be better for us. Play it a million times and study what we're saying.
And what about you, Capri? Working on this project, what has it been like for you to mix, different genres together?
Honestly, a dream come true. I have loved opera and classical music, and it's kind of in the same vein of what you're saying. I have loved it so much, but a lot of people it doesn't translate. People feel it's different, or they don't understand it. And I always felt like I want a way to bring it to the mainstream, because it's so beautiful, it's so powerful, it's so dramatic. And I just heard Gangster's Paradise on the radio, and I thought, wow, that sounds like Madame Butterfly. And I started kind of singing along, and I'm like, this can work. And when I met Ojiki, that Dre just mentioned, and he said, well, I know somebody, I'm like, wow, we could put this together where people can understand it, they can relate, they can feel like it's themselves. And that's what it was all about for me. And I'm just about different worlds coming together, showing that they may appear very different, but in actuality, it's the same. We're all the same. And anyway, so to me, it was a total dream come true. I get so excited. Even today, we worked on
definitely an opportunity. Man.
Yeah, it's amazing. Timing, divine right timing.
Divine timing.
That is
divine timing.
I've been talking about that so much, about timing.
Yeah.
Divine timing, because and the thing is, especially now, I mean, we can say that all the time, especially now in these times.
Yeah.
There are always these times, but I would say, especially with the sort of seeming chaos that's out there in
Yes.
the world, and then we bring this music into that space. And it's about touching lives on a soul level as well. Someone listens to this, and especially when you rise in this crescendo in Madame Butterfly, it's almost like you feel like you're being lifted on the wings of the butterfly, because the music and the
Oh,
vibration is lifting you. But
wow.
but then it resembles a butterfly opening its wings and doing this. So even if someone is in a space at this moment in time and they listen to Madame Butterfly, it can take them someplace just for that moment,
Wow.
for that moment.
Yes.
Beautiful. That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That
My 12-year-old listened to the record and he was like, he's a TikTok kid and he's like, Dad, this is really interesting. What's the word he used? And he was like, it's interesting. And I was like, well, you don't like it? He said, no, I doesn't like it. I've never heard it before.
Mm,
But he said it's nice to listen to. And
that's
that's
it.
why I was like, I'll take that from a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
It's nice to listen to. That means that's good. That means it's not nagging at you. It's not bothering you. It's
Mm,
very comforting, So I'm loving it. It's a
mm.
beautiful thing.
And for you, Capri, I don't think I asked, what is the message behind what you do? And then what is the message personally behind this particular track?
um the message for me is mostly, like I said, bringing seemingly different people, different worlds together, showing the similarity. And also, and Butterfly is like this. I did a children's book, and the bottom line of it was I faced obstacles like everyone, so
Mhm.
many obstacles, and I just want ways to have tools. It's not like the
Yes,
obstacles are going to go away, but
yes,
have tools, and it's just magical.
yes.
It's if you have tools, and that's what I feel this does, and I feel my songs in my book do. It's life lesson tools that can help you through to bring you back to yourself, to happiness, and to overcome. And
Bring you back to your
Butterfly,
sense. Yeah.
I'm sorry, and Butterfly, she did, well, she overcame, but unfortunately she committed suicide, which I'm very sorry. But at the same time, she had love, and she met this guy from seemingly different world, but they came together and found love. And that's kind of what everything's about.
Mm. And even as you're talking, like I said, it brings, because with the butterfly, you've got the main body of the butterfly, and you're talking about going through all these things, but you're bringing it back together. You're bringing it back to the center, the
Yeah,
body where
exactly.
everything sort of comes together.
Right.
And I love it also when you talk about um, bringing different worlds together, because, and it's just so apt we're talking about this at this time. I sound like an old
Mhm.
person. This time, during these times. I guess, with the war and everything, wars
Oh,
on every level, and people turning on each other, and this lack of empathy and
yeah.
um, passion for others, you
Yeah.
know. And, even I looked at something what's happening in London, and people are just turning on each other, but that's because of the energy that's out there. And
Yes.
and people are feeding in, it's an energy. And I keep saying, can you imagine if if you go to church, whatever your faith is, can you imagine people all at one time sitting and praying or meditating at one time? Can you imagine what that would shift? Can
Yes.
you imagine?
It
Yes.
will shift the world on its axis. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All at
Yeah.
one time. We just and then it brings it back to what yourself and Dre have done, something that is powerful. Yes, she may have committed suicide at the end, but as part of that journey, she found love, even if it's for
Right.
a brief moment. And
Right.
that is powerful in itself.
Yeah.
Um, and so I can get pretty deep. I can get really philosophical and spiritual about stuff because I love this stuff. Because it's when you're touching lives, and your both of your messages is about touching lives and reaching out. That's powerful. And
Yeah.
so moving forward, what do you have any other projects of collaboration moving forward?
Well,
Yes.
go ahead, Dre.
We go ahead.
No. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sure we'll say
we,
no.
we have a library in the waiting.
Peek, peek,
Trust
peek.
and believe. We have
We
a
do.
library in the waiting. we're testing the waters, and so far the response has been well received. So we definitely will be following up with more music, more of this collaboration here. And again, we have plenty of music and it's all beautiful. It's very beautiful. It's just amazing. I can't even believe that we've done this. You know, when I sit back and listen to some of the music, and I'm just like, this is real music. There's no one's playing like this anymore. No one's doing musicality. No one's on this musicality level anymore. Everything is bleeps and bloops, and there's no movement in the music anymore.
Depth.
It's
Yeah.
straight through, and that's why no one's changing. That's why the music all sounds the same, because there's no movement in the music. And with the songs we've done, there's a lot of movement. You know, not just in the lyrics, but in the music, which is forcing the lyrics to have to change and move as well. So each story we're telling, you know, eventually this may even end up being like a library to really have, because hip hop and opera is, you know, I don't think it's been done, and we're doing it. So we're making history. I'm definitely happy about being a part of this. So yes, we have more to come.
So I asked that question, you went ping, 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 ping.
Lit up, yes, because I got to thinking about the library, what we do have, and you know, Song of the Butterfly is just the tip of the iceberg for what we can really entertain the people with.
And yourself, Capri?
Yeah, I'm just excited. Like, and you know, I have to bring it back to something you said, that you were talking about the butterfly, how it starts, and it's like a cocoon, and then it transforms, and hopefully it will be transformational for people in coming together. But I'm excited because if this, and it is working, but if this works good, we have so many, like Dre said, we worked so hard on some beautiful pieces of music, beautiful. And it would be just amazing if this can be a launching point to get the others heard too, because
yes,
all very powerful. And Dre tells the story, but the opera music has its own beauty and power.
has
And
to be right, man. It's I'm getting
amazing.
goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, it really is, really.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I'm like, my gosh, I just there's Carmen. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
You know, we still have
You
that
can see it as
one.
a
You know,
performance, can't you? You can see this as being part of a performance on stage,
Oh, yeah.
bringing the stage alive.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yes. Wouldn't that be
Mhm.
amazing and so powerful? It
Be
would be.
amazing.
It
Yeah,
would
bringing
be
it
amazing.
alive. And then you've got all the different generations there, because the kids will be able to understand it, the adults, and it's bringing it together. So,
Right.
I
Bring it
mean, I
together.
to interview you both again when you've got that other music out there, and get it
Oh,
on stage. I'm seeing it on
thank
stage.
you.
Take it,
Yes.
because this is also a time of great creativity. And as a man thinketh, so he becomes. So when you have this, you've already taken something, put it together, merged it together, created sort of a new sound about it. Can you imagine when you the rest of it, where you can take it, keep being the butterfly with this stuff.
Very
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
good.
That's what we're looking forward to.
Fantastic. and
Absolutely.
and sort of mind, there is a question that it might be a bit cheeky, but I need to ask it anyway. Being a hip hop artist and rapping, have some people said to well, aren't you a bit old for that? I'm just presenting this because
Mm-hmm.
because it's oftentimes, if people, he's a rap artist, he's gonna be nothing, he's over. But you really bring something, and it's still
Mm-hmm.
there. It's about, because I've got a magazine, and the theme of this one is legacy builders. And it's about the importance of legacy, because legacy builders, there's an importance in that, and they're being sort of discounted at the moment, but they're still
Mm-hmm.
relevant. So if I
Yeah.
pose that question to you, has anybody said, oh man, that was, aren't you a bit over the hill for that?
Absolutely. But I always say the same thing. I say the same thing to every time I might get that question brought up to me, and I go, "Would you tell Ronald Isley to stop singing?" Would you tell Lakeside not to perform anymore? Not would you tell the Commodores to stop? You
Mm,
know that. So music and hip hop, that's in me. I don't. You can't. There's no way to turn it off. Uh, there's been times I tried to take a break, but
mm,
when something is a part of you and something is in you, what am I? What am I? You may feel that I shouldn't be rapping anymore, but I believe rappers my age now are more prudent than anything. It's
mm,
because we live life. We have more life to tell.
Mhm.
So just to take it back, let's say a lot of kids, a lot of these young guys, they go to prison and they listen to the OGs in the prison. Well, I didn't have to go to prison, but I lived enough life to manage to stay and survive on the street. So why can't what I say be relevant to you? Just why you have to go to prison? I can tell it to you in song. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell you the same message, what to do and what not to do in a rhythm, in a pattern, in a song, in a vibe that you can feel. Because it's a part of me because I lived it and I'm still living it, you know. So when people say, oh, why are you still rapping? It's in me. Can't shake it. It's like blood. You know,
but
you
it's
want me to cut
oh,
myself and
it's the
bleed
best.
out.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. As again, my man Coolio, rest in peace. When he died, he was 59 years old. He was still doing 80 shows a year.
Wow.
Whoa.
What do you do? Is that's in you. I mean, that means you live for people. You live for entertaining. You tell Janet Jackson she's too old. Now, if I was out here trying to carry guns, act like what they call a fuck boy or whatever, then yeah, I'm too old for that. Am
Mm,
I too old to present what I brought to the game, which is hip hop, which is music, which is life, which is musicality? Never. As
mm.
long as I can think, as long as I can do patterns, I'm always do hip hop.
Excellent.
I am hip hop. I am the culture. So
And we're
I
celebrating
never
50
would
years this year as well. It's a celebration of 50 years of hip hop.
celebrating 50 years. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a show December 3rd in Hollywood celebrating 40 years of LA hip hop.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they're honoring King T, LV, who sang the hook on Gangsta's Paradise. They're
Mm,
honoring him and they're honoring Nocturnal and DJ Scratch. Those guys were big West Coast influences back in the day. I looked up to them growing up in the industry, and now here's my chance to pay homage to them. So I'm looking forward to that. So hip hop is now okay. What rock and roll was back in the day, hip hop is now, and it's going to last even longer because it keeps expanding. That is one genre of music that keep look Case and Tell is now an opera. It keeps expanding.
excellent.
Yes,
Yeah.
Excellent.
yes.
That brings that brings the show nicely to and end and but before I really end, um, as we come into it feels like we're coming into a new season, not because it's the end of the year, but I just feel that a lot of people are coming into a space and time where they're recognizing the importance of who they are, what they need to do. And as you were talking, it's not so much about how old you are, but everybody's got a message. It's a message that we have, and it doesn't matter whether you're young, middle, or old. Everybody's got a message. So as we come to this sort of completion stage, as we go into a new stage, because I'm sensing a new, what is it you want to share with the audience as we come through and go through?
Go ahead, Capri.
Oh, um, just that I say to myself all the time, why didn't this happen 20 years ago? And I really truly believe there is divine right timing, and you're being prepared. The world, the audience is being prepared. The people that can hear it, it's like you have to grow into it. And when the time is right, the time is right. You can't
Mm-hmm.
make it happen when it's not ready, because we did this years ago, but the audience wasn't ready. And I think today just like you said, with the war and everything, I'm thinking, oh, I can't bring up music right now. There's a war happening, really important things going on. But in actuality, it's helpful. It is the time. It's bringing maybe peace, bringing beauty. So anyway, divine right timing is my biggest thing. And I'm glad you didn't ask me about the age. Thank you.
Woman, I'm on your side with this one, right?
Oh yeah, throw the guy underneath the bus.
And yourself too. I think you sort of coined it in what you said as before. So I just want to say thank you to both of you. I want to say thank you for the message, and also there's such a nice synergy between you both, and I feel that's what also is infused into the collaboration that you've done, because that sense of coming together with a significant other to do something different and powerful, is you can see your energies are just
thank you.
Zimming of each other, thing, and that's what will come through the music as well. So wishing you all the best. Would love when I'm back in the States to come and see you perform next year, and just keep me posted about the other stuff that you're bringing out, and let me know when you're going to have your stage performance, please. It's going to happen.
Yeah.